Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? Let's get back over here. Good Thursday evening. Hey, TikTok. Top of the evening to you. Sitting here, just made me a little cup of Slippery M throat coat tea, an herbal tea. Figured I'd sit here and have me a little sip of tea. Ava's out in the studio. She's got a Zoom meeting going on. Slide this back a little bit and see how that goes like that. I can hear Boom Boom in the kitchen crunching down some dry dog food. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening to you. Out there in the highways and the byways and across the back roads of Kansas and Missouri and upstate New York and South Florida. Good evening to you this evening. Hope everybody's doing well. It's kind of got a little chill in there out in Atlanta this evening. It's been really beautiful and spring-like the last 4 or 5 days. And then this evening it started feeling a little, I don't think balmy is the right word, but kind of swirly, like the weather's kind of swirling around with a little cooler air in the thing. I was laying in there. Ava and I went for our walk this evening, and we couldn't really think of nothing for dinner. And so we ran up to this Chick-fil-A. Y'all remember tomorrow now, supposed to be a boycott. Fast food places, Target, Walmarts, Home Depots, don't spend no money, kind of a boycott. I'm going to adhere to it, Ava and I are. We're not... looking at text coming through, y'all. Hey, sir, God bless you and your beautiful family. Yeah, thank you, Stanley. But anyhow, I went up there and Ava had to get on a Zoom at 6:30, and we had about 30 minutes. So we run up to Chick-fil-A, and we got us a Southwest chicken salad. And I told him, I said, well, give me some ranch with it or whatever. Well, we get back to the house just right down the street. We ain't got no salad dressing in the refrigerator. And they didn't put no salad dressing in the bag, give you that little pack or whatever. So I just ate that salad dry. Salad dressing is kind of what makes the salad taste good. Boom, boom, what are you doing? Gracie, stop all that. So anyhow, down. Dogs trying to wrestle and play. But anyhow, didn't give me no salad dressing. But I went ahead and ate it anyhow. Just, whatever. I was laying there on the sofa for a few minutes. Thank you for the follow over on TikTok. Hey, everybody on TikTok. Eddie William Sellers coming to you from my little tiny little dining room here in East Point, Georgia this evening. Coming to you live on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and just kind of coming on here. And Boom Boom the Baptist, yeah, Boom Boom's got his own following out there in Internetville. Boom Boom the Baptist. Boycott tomorrow, yes, Taria. Yeah, I posted on my Facebook page just an economic boycott tomorrow. That's one way to make your voices heard. So that's going on tomorrow. And then I woke up this morning, just the strangest story that the actor and his wife, the 95-year-old actor, I probably should have. He's famous. He's won an Academy Award 2 times. And I was laying on the sofa listening to it a minute ago. I probably should have me another little thing I can look up things. Gene Hackman. Yeah, thank you over there on TikTok. Gene Hackman. And so then when I heard it this morning, I thought maybe it was they had, committed suicide or whatever. And then later on, somebody texted me and says, no, said it was carbon monoxide. And then this evening said, no, it wasn't they didn't think it was carbon monoxide. And so they found him in one part of the house and found her in another part. Said they'd probably been dead for over a month. No telling how long they've been dead. All three of them and their dog. And their dog was dead in its crate. And I thought, my God, how horrible. That dog probably starved to death, you know? And who is that rich and that famous and lives in such a beautiful layout, and over a month can go by and nobody checks on them? And I think they said just a landscaper or a gardener or something happened to look in a window and just see him laying there on the floor. And, you know, they played the 911 call. And the guy's like, he's not moving. Y'all need to send somebody out here. But just a groundskeeper. I mean, what happened to people having friends that kind of check in on them, or somebody don't answer their phone for over a month or so? Yeah, Gene Hackman. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, you just don't never know. So anyway, everybody, good evening to you. Top of the evening. My daughter, Heather, and aunt, they're down there in Panama City for a few days. I think they're leaving to come home in the morning. I've just been running around getting stuff done, doing stuff. So good evening, TikTok. How's everybody doing out there in Mississippi and Louisiana? Yeah. So, but yeah, and then, you know, there's all. Let me see what you're saying right here. Other countries are participating. Yes to the boycott. I have the funeral director checking on me at times, doing well in south side of Atlanta. I love the south side of Atlanta more than the north side of Atlanta. I never have cared up the north side of Atlanta too much. Yeah, so it's just a strange, odd, you know, and then there's, you know, all the stuff up in DC that's going on. And I don't even know if I care to even talk about all that much this evening. Thank y'all for all the hearts and stuff over on TikTok. Philadelphia, good evening, Miss Joan. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia kind of let us down a little bit the last election. Georgia kind of let everybody down too. Everybody voting for that orange buffoon, that orange-headed buffoon. I used to live in East Atlanta Village. It was fun, but East Atlanta Village was fun a while back. It's just so grown up now. Ava went to an event last night at the Beer Garden. There's a place on South Boulevard toward the Federal Pen, and a little shopping center out there is a Beer Garden. I think it's just called the Beer Garden or something. And Ava come home. She told me, she said, they're known to have good corn dogs. Oh my God, they have a corn dog? And I said, I must go back with you sometime to the Beer Garden. But the Eagles said no to the visit to the White House after the Super Bowl. That's true. That's true. I'm glad the Eagles won. You know, I was kind of pulling for them. They actually put an old-fashioned whooping on them Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, the Eagles got a pretty tough team. Good evening there, Candy Cane. Y'all, I'm just piddling here. I ain't really got much to say, much to get riled up about this evening. He was there to see the Eagles lose. Yes, he was, wasn't he? And they showed him. And not only the Eagles declined to go to the White House. I mean, y'all really and truly, does MAGA not realize they put somebody in the White House that baseball players, you know, teams that win the World Series, team that win the Super Bowl, they're like, nah, we don't even want to go to the White House. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you the reason why the Eagles don't want to go to the White House, or the people that win the World Series. Because it's trash. There's a lot of trash moved up in that house. You know, just a bunch of trash. Trump and JD and all. I don't know about y'all, but we was raised up like, Cabbage Town, like that trash lived down there on Carroll Street, just trashy, and that ain't got nothing to do with money. It ain't got nothing to do with people being poor or people being rich. They just people that's kind of trashy. They lie to you, they steal from you. You can't trust them, uh, uh, hey there, Mr. AJ. What's happening, Eddie? Shout out this evening, my dear friend from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you there. Love Chicago too. Good evening to y'all up there in Chicago. Yeah, just to me, it's like trashy people to me. For people to love Trump so much, it's just kind of weird, isn't it? It just seems weird to me. I'm drinking some Slippery throat coat hot tea this evening. Paula over on Facebook says, yes, I'm glad they remembered not to reward the orange buffoon with a visit. Yeah, I kind of like the fact. I like people that have morals. I don't care what I don't care what Donald Trump ever does in the next 4 years. I could never have voted for him. Because I don't think if you have a center and have a moral code of decency about you, you can just lay all that aside to vote for somebody who's a convicted sex offender, to vote for somebody who's a convicted business criminal. I just can't let my center and my morals go that easy. Like a lot of them Pentecostal people out there and Southern Baptist people, they really don't have no morals about them, because your vote tells the world who you are, and you always make my day. Thank you there. Morals and integrity will always matter, Eddie, Debbie says over here. I think so. In a world, it doesn't seem like it now, and even I'll say this, I don't watch much TV anymore, but I see on TikTok like little clips of Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and little clips of Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon, and they're on TV 5 nights a week, for an hour, and they just men that seem to have a decent code about them. They treat people with respect. They you can just see there's something about that group up in Washington. Mike Johnson, what a little weasel this little dweeb is. The Speaker of the House of the United States Congress, the Speaker. When we had great speakers in the past like Tip O'Neill and Nancy Pelosi, you got this little dweeby guy, just dweeby. Trash and garbage. I can remember my mother saying that to me when pointing out who not to emulate. She would say trash and garbage. Yeah, we did too in the South. We just called that's a bunch of trash lived down there on the corner, out there fighting and carrying on in public. I got my overalls. I got about 3 or 4 pair of overalls. One of them's got so much paint and stuff on them. Every once in a while, I like to just get my overalls out and spend a day piddling and diddling and doing things over there. Good evening, Miss Tammy, over on Facebook. Good evening, somebody that just got the number 3 gifter badge. These right here, I've got 2 or 3 pair. These right here are Levi's. Levi's makes a really good overall. And these at Christmas time, I think they're like $99, but they had that 50% off down in Florida. We was down at Fort Walton Beach and walked by a little Levi's outlet store. I'm like, oh, they got them Levi's marked down for 50% off. I got this pair. Then I've got another pair in there, but they're so heavy, but they're name bearing pair. They're about $150 for that pair. And I wore them like one time. I'm going to give them to my brother Richard. And then I thought, well, hell, he's about dead. He'd be dead before he'd never wear them. But I love Levi's just period. Levi shirts, Levi pants, Levi, blue jeans. I get my daily news from other sources such as David Packman, Brian Tyler Cohen, and Jesse Dollamore. Yeah, yeah, I do too. Um, the thing about it is, you can find, yeah, you know, on the social media thing, there's all kind of conspiracy. There's a bunch of wackos online. Y'all know that. But then again, you can tell when people are just kind of saying stuff and reporting stuff in an honest way. And if you can't, you're stupid. If you sit there before Fox News every night and watch Brett Baer, and you think, and you have to be stupid to not sit there and look at that and say, this guy's an idiot. This guy is an idiot. You know, or you know, I know that all of it. I looked up the other day propaganda, the definition of propaganda, uh, and it just says it's a slanted view of something, propagandizing it, propaganda, a real slanted view. And if you turn on Fox News, if you don't realize that's a real slanted view of it, and I know this is kind of. Um, it's always been there watching. It's always great to be here watching your live stream every chance I get. Thank you there. And you know, to me, I don't like too much of a slanted view. And I think that's one reason I know some of you take issue with this. That's one reason I never really have cared a whole lot for MSNBC, because MSNBC seemed like the talking points for the Democratic Party to me, like Fox seems like the talking points for the MAGA Party. And I know CNN, people's like, oh, that CNN's fake news, but at least, you know, I kind of, you know, it's weird. And I came up during a time with news where Walter Cronkite was on did the CBS Evening News, #1 rated news show for 30 years. And until he retired, nobody could ever figure out whether he was a Democrat or a Republican, because he just reported. You know, the reporters would just say, we're standing here in Vietnam and bombs are falling. They just report the news. And so the weather's beautiful, Maria. It's just beautiful. There's a little bit of chill in the air this evening. So I don't know, the Fox News. I think what I was trying to say, if we get our news from people online, like that Heather Cox Richardson on here, to me, she doesn't come across as biased one way or the other. She just comes across, here's the reality, here's the facts, here's what's going on. And she gives it substance in history and context, contextualizes it, and it's real interesting to hear that without somebody trying to. I don't want to be preached to. I'm the choir. You know, I don't need somebody to preach to me things that I just want to hear. I'd like to hear the truth. Yeah, I quit watching. I tell you, AJ, I've always watched CNN because I like Andy Anderson Cooper. I just do. You know, I've read he's wrote 2 or 3 books. I like his writing. I like his not a typical style of reporting. And you know, I know he's progressive, very progressive, but I like Don Lemon. I follow Don Lemon on CNN. I like the fact that Don Lemon's an openly gay Black man that's out there, and he's still, boy, he's using that F word a lot lately. Since he ain't working for CNN, I'm like, oh my God, Don, give it a break. You know, he just a day or two ago, boy, it was all over TikTok where Megyn Kelly said something about Joy Reid. And Don Lemon came on the air and he said, fuck you, Megyn Kelly, just fuck you. And I'm like, Don, you are not with CNN no more, are you, buddy? You just say what you got to say. But he did. And I love him, though. And I'm guilty of saying the fuck word myself, too. I think we living in some times that make you just want to say the fuck word. Like, what the fuck is going on? You know? Uh, my daughter Heather says she watches it on TikTok. She loves it. But Megyn Kelly, isn't she? She's like a female Mike Johnson, isn't she? Just weird. Isn't she weird? I've always just felt like she was weird. At one time the Republicans loved her. She was a top-rated show on Fox News. I don't know. She's weird. She's like a female Mike Johnson. Midas touch man for being a truth teller. Yeah. I also watched MSNBC, but since Mika and Joe kissed the ring, I also dropped them. But I miss Ari Melber. Yeah, I've watched MSNBC a little bit. I used to watch it. There was like this sportscaster that was on there, and I liked him because he was kind of almost in the cut out of an old Tom Snyder. I know some of you people don't know who Tom Snyder was, but he used to have a late night talk show. I forget what his name is. He's still around, but he kind of faded off the scene. But man, he was like the male version of the female big time star on there right now. Hey Dora, good evening, Cameron. The Late Show. Yeah, I used to like Tom Snyder. Tom Snyder, and I tell you something else too. I used to get my news years ago. Larry King Live came on at 9 o'clock for 1 hour every night on CNN, or at least Monday through Friday. And Larry would just have the breaking news makers of that day, whether it was a senator, a president, a vice president, or whoever was the breaking news that day. I mean, his show was so powerful, they'd be there. And but it was an interview in a way. I liked Larry's interview style. Like somebody come on there and said, well, I tell you what, they're just after me. They're just mad at me. They're just trying to destroy me. They're just trying to bring me down. And Larry would just simply ask them a question like, why? Why are they doing that? And the person be like, you tell me, Larry, why are they doing it? And Larry like, why are they doing you like that? Why are they coming after you if there's nothing there? Why? And it just you just get a lot of I like Larry King, And the thing about it is, I've always been kind of a news junkie anyhow, up until I ain't watched no news since the election. I just turned all of it off. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with all that. But years before Larry King ever had a TV show, he was on this is going back a little bit, but used to be on late night radio. They had all night radio. And he had a show that comes on like 11 o'clock every night, nationwide. It was carried out of Miami and Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta. Hey there, DT Johnson. And I don't know, at the times I'd lay in the bed and have an AM radio on. I think it might have carried his on WSB here at night in Atlanta. And I'd lay there and fall asleep with Larry King, like, who we got on the line now? And somebody like, Larry, this is so-and-so. And it was just late night talk radio. It wasn't all this weird stuff like that guy that died that was Donald Trump gave him a Purple Heart or a Medal of Honor or something. That weird guy, Rush Limbaugh. No, Larry had, it was a long time ago, wasn't it, Debbie? But I used to love to fall asleep listening to Larry doing radio interviews and stuff like that. And the news, you get your news from the AJC. I'm subscribed online to the AJC, and I can do AJC.com anytime I want to. And they have breaking news, this local news around Atlanta. And I used to, for years, had the Atlanta Journal. Atlanta used to have two newspapers, had the Atlanta Constitution and the Atlanta Journal. And one of them come out in the morning, one of them come out in the afternoon, and you'd have to get both of them, and they competed against each other. And I had subscriptions to both of them, because I like to read the sports columns, and they had good sports writers on both of them, because I was a big Falcons fan. At one time, I had season tickets to the Falcons. I had season tickets to the Braves. And just to be honest about it, I never had paid for one of those season tickets. But the man I work for, Dan Stevens, who owned Georgia Blueprint, he had company season tickets to the Braves and Falcons, and I'd always get them thrown on my desk and says, Eddie, take care of these. Take somebody to the game, And so same in Nashville with the morning and evening paper. Yeah. Newspapers are going away. You can't find a hard copy of the AJC no more. But I mean, everything is now digital. Just AJ, the papers are digital now. You can subscribe to the New York Times, Washington Post. I mean, you still get hard copies of those, but you can look them up online. But the news today, I'm telling you, I think Fox News played a big part in destroying this country. And I say that in the sense, is the country destroyed? Maybe I shouldn't say that. But the country seems like it's kind of destroyed, don't it? It seems like the white Ku Klux Klan Christian nationalists of evangelical Southern Baptist people seem like they've just determined to hurry up and hasten the return of Christ. Make it so bad here that Jesus says, if I don't return right now, for those of you that believe there's actually going to be a return of a man named Jesus, that if I don't hurry up and hasten it's like they're deliberately trying to destroy the world where Jesus will come on back. It's weird, isn't it? Weird. Good evening, everybody. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm just sitting here diddling. I ain't got a whole lot to talk about tonight. I did think that was weird with Gene Hackman, And you know what surprised me about that? I think the news companies could have made a difference many years ago if they had come together to do it right. Yeah. I still think we need news. We need Rachel Maddows. We need Don Lemons. We need Anderson Coopers. We need CBS News, the ABC News, the NBC News. We need these Washington Post, New York Times. We need these news outlets. The news people were where we get our information from. So let me hang this up. So, I mean, I don't know how much I trust any of them right now, but we still need them, and in a free country, we have to allow, the extremist news also. That's part of freedom, the Fox News and the other ludicrous news. But you know what? Years ago, there was what was called a fairness doctrine. And if a station like Fox got somebody on there that rant and raved about one side of an issue, according to the FCC, they had to give equal time to the opposing people to do that. And all that went out the window. But that was back in the old days where we basically had 4 news outlets, which was NBC, CBS, and ABC, and then PBS somewhat came in years later. Associated Press gets it right most of the time. And isn't that awful that Donald Trump threw them out of the White House thing? They had to sue to get back in. Yeah. What is it about the freedom of the press that terrifies Donald Trump and makes him so determined to destroy it? Because I'm going to tell you, freedom of the press is a fascist's worst nightmare, because they will warn the people of what a fascist is up to. And so all fascist governments, the first thing they have to do is go in there and destroy the free press. Yeah, that's true, Tammy. The current administration is already picking journalists that will spin things their way. Yeah, and they're not concerned about the truth. Enemy of the people is what Trump calls our press. Yeah. Thank you there, Carol. Carol says, I appreciate your talks. He's been destroying it since he coined the term fake news. Yeah, you know what? Isn't that weird? He loves Fox News, but everybody else is fake news, It's propaganda, people. It's just pure and simple. It's propaganda. If yeah, it's just propaganda. It's no different from the Russian propaganda and stuff like that. And the thing about it is, you and I are wise enough and seasoned enough, and we've hopefully lived long enough that we see it for what it is. But it is kind of disturbing that all the people that'll sit there in front of Fox News and they think those people are telling them the truth. They think that's the truth that they're being told. And it's not just a handful of people, it's like millions and millions and millions of people like, oh, I love that Fox News. Um, so the so anyhow, yeah, it's just strange times we're living in, isn't it? I I just feel of all the bad news I heard today when they told me uh, uh, that let me see what uh, that Gene Hackman's dog was found dead, locked in his crate. I'm like, and said they'd probably been dead for over a month. Oh my goodness, that's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. He does not want the truth to come out about himself. He definitely trying to impose his fascist moves. Yeah, it's weird. And it's weird that so many Americans like it. I'm not naive to the fact that I get on here and there's a lot of people that really love what's going on in the country, all the chaos. A lot of people love that Medicaid's being slashed, food stamps are being slashed. A lot of people love that other humans are being rounded up on their jobs and separated from their families. They love it. And what's even more is the Republicans have always had this kind of mindset that the people are just stealing from the government. These poor people are just stealing and taking all they can get in food stamps and government helps and welfare. And, like they, damn them, they're just low life stealing from the government, And I just never have understood that kind of a little girl in Texas took her life because she was being bullied about her parents being deported. I saw that. And did y'all see also yesterday in the news that for the first time in, I don't know, forever, a little kid unvaccinated died of measles. And in that same area where that kid was at in Texas, 124 other cases of measles has popped up. Now, here we got Robert F. Kennedy Jr., that's up there, the head of the Health and Human Services, whatever, don't believe in any of the vaccines. And we're in the year 2025, we got kids now that's going to die of measles. What the hell is wrong with those people? Just what's wrong with them? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that about the little girl, though, that ended her life over that. So anyway, y'all, we just tug along and chug along. Hey, Miss Rhonda, good evening to you over on TikTok. But it is a head scratcher, that why so many people really love the fact that poor. I have to say good night. Thank you for your presence. You're an inspiration. Good night. Good night to you, Tammy. Lubbock, Texas. Yeah, good Lord. Yeah, it makes no sense at all. I'm going to get a booster. No telling where it's spread. That won't tell us. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when as a kid, we'd get the measles. Do y'all ever hear of what is that? Not the mumps. Y'all remember? I got the mumps as a kid one time, and they said, "Oh, don't jump around." Then this might be old wives' tales. I don't know if any of this is true, but I got the mumps as a little boy, and my aunts and all said, "Don't jump off the porch. Don't jump up and down because they say you can make the mumps drop, and it'll make you sterile where you can't never have children. So be real careful. Don't jump around while these mumps is in." But good evening there, Chris. the heads up, reopen Gitmo even. Yeah, Matt. Yeah. But we, and I don't know if kids even get it nowadays, but when I was little, I'm 69 years old. I'll be 70 this September. But when I was little, the Savannah Street Mission, they vaccinate. They had a little clinic set up in Cabbage Town, and we had to get vaccinated before we could go to school. And so they give you this vaccination, and it leads this like a place like a big around as a nickel, a scar on your arm where you could tell you've been vaccinated. Be there when you're 20 years old, you look like, oh, that thing's still there. It leave a scar. Yeah, I know that, Ashton. Ashton says, don't forget tomorrow is economic blackout. Do not spend. Smallpox, Jody says. Yeah, I'm not playing. Me and Ava's not going to. No, we're not spending nothing tomorrow. We're not shopping, not ordering nothing. Heather says, you used to tell me not to flip Caleb when he was a baby because I'd flip his liver. Yeah, people got little babies, they throw them up, and they flip them and all like that. And then it got in my head, too, Mom says, oh, don't you flip that baby. Don't flip you'll flip their liver. You flip the liver. My daughter Heather's like, she was going to flip Caleb when he was little. So I told her, don't flip him, you flip his liver. Yeah. So, my mom has one of those scars as well. Yes, Cameron, it's weird. It left and it hurt. Good God, it hurt. But we got vaccinated for polio. We got vaccinated for measles. We got vaccinated for mumps. We got vaccinated for chicken pox. We got vaccinated for smallpox. I believe in vaccinations. And now in 2025, we got a child in Texas unvaccinated for measles that dies of measles. Good Lord. And boy, y'all talking about weird, these anti-vaxxers. There's some on my Facebook page. You talking about some creepy, weird people. I mean, some weird people. Because of those people, that the anti-vaxxers, we had maybe, how many millions of people died in the United States because of anti-vaxxers? Millions of people. You're like, Eddie, do you believe if people had all got vaccinated, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people wouldn't die? Absolutely, they wouldn't have died. Vaccines work. They've always been proven vaccines work. There's risk with everything, but very, very low risk with all of it. Rhonda said, tried talking sense into a Trumper today. It didn't go well. Had an excuse for everything. Yeah, I don't even fool with talking to him. I'm like, hun, you go on and believe in the devil all you want to. You just have yourself a good old devil Holy Ghost time. You and Trump do the do-wah diddy and drive on down to Panama City. I don't even try to fool with them. It's like, even I always come back to the thing of where Paul said, if any man be ignorant, just let him be ignorant. Just let them be ignorant. You can't, Jill and supporting love come at them at the same time. Yeah. Shared the live. Thank y'all for sharing the live over there. Who knows? I might get a couple of followers out of it. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I got almost 130,000 followers here. I should have FAFO is on the way. Good advice, Eddie. Yeah. That's to me, Rhonda. I ain't got time for all that. Back in my younger days when I pastored a church and I was evangelical and I tried to convert people, get them to give their life to Christ, and I'm like, I don't care about all that. If you don't want to serve Christ, don't, fuck it. You go do what you want to do, hon. I don't want. You don't want to be a Mormon. You go do you, hon. You be a Mormon. You be a Jehovah's Witness. I ain't trying to convert. You want to vote for Trump? Yeah, Leslie. I thank you there. You want to vote for Trump? You go on to do you, hon. You vote for Trump all you want to. I ain't gonna waste my time or my energy on ignorance. Because first off, somebody that would vote for Donald Trump is very ignorant. They're ignorant, and so you can't rationalize with that. You're just wasting your time. There's that old saying, like you pissing in the wind, all that wind's just blowing the piss back on you. You just get all you wound up with is a bunch of piss all over you. Mama always says, bless your heart. Yeah, so I'll tell y'all, especially on Facebook or TikTok or all these stuff. People come on my Facebook page. I'm funny about my Facebook page. If somebody comes on there and says, "No, I think Donald Trump's doing a good job," I just block them. I ain't even gonna. I just block them. I don't care who it is. It can be my aunt Geraldine, whoever. She comes there. I like Donald Trump. I'm like, I ain't even fool with you. I block your ass. The because you can't have a debate with ignorance like that. It's just they're weird. Going back up on the side of your little hills up there in Hillbilly, Georgia, somewhere up there around Margaret Taylor Greene, and you and Donald Trump do y'all's little two-why diddy. You know what I consider blocking people is now? There's a reference in the book of Revelation where it said that they'd be cast into the sea of forgetfulness. Once I block somebody, it's like they never even existed. They just got sent off into the sea of forgetfulness, never to be heard from again. Like there they went off into the sea of forgetfulness. But anyhow, y'all, I love y'all. I'm gonna get off of here. Hopefully, Ava's about to wind up over here on her Zoom call, and hey, I watched 2 episodes of The White Lotus. That's Ava just cringes. We lay there in the bed. She just pulls her cover up like that. That gives her so much anxiety because she can't stand you can tell there's something real creepy going on. And The White Lotus now is back out for this season, and they drop an episode every Sunday. So we watched the first 2 episodes, but it's so creepy. There's just something bad's going to happen. It's just so creepy, but it's good. I love the whole thing of a season of The White Lotus. It's in Thailand this time. But it just makes you so uncomfortable. You're like, oh my God. And there's the first 2 episodes. I tell you how uncomfortable it is. One of the families has 2 sons and a daughter, and there's a little something incestuous vibe about what's going on between them sexually. He's like, oh God, that's creepy. We don't want to see that, So anyway, such a wonderful thought. Thank you, Eddie. Have a good night, everyone. See y'all, everybody. Let's get off of here. Love y'all. See y'all in the morning. I'm hanging up.